Welcome to your astrological natal chart report. This is the Peace Dealer, and I hope you gain the utmost of quality from this report. It's great to see you're born in 63. There's very important returns coming for you. You've completed your Saturn return coming into last year. Congratulations. And coming up into March, April, specifically April, I believe, you're coming into a very amazing Jupiter return that you have not experienced since 2010. So a lot of evolution and karmic completion, or karmic completion evolution, that is coming your way, especially as a Libra sun, born a Libra sun. Be it by this point, you have very well progressed, probably well into Sagittarius, so congratulations, if not Capricorn, as your progressed sun moves a degree every year. This definitely does also speak towards the amazing nature of your rising at 28 degrees, as, of course, rising signs that are at the final degrees, any planet really at the final degrees of any sign, of course, gives you mastery of that energy. And it's really great to see that accordingly, especially because I'll always use an example. President Trump and Drake, they're 29 degrees, of course, rising. I'm 27 degree Taurus rising. So to see that you're 28 degrees Sag rising with your moon close to there really speaks a lot to the nature of your soul, transcendent, but still aligned to your personality. So you, in a sense, like a stage performer peeking from behind the blinds. If the AC is the stage blinds and everything after is expressed, you're able to kind of understand how elements of your unconscious influence your personality by, as a moon in Sagittarius, ascending the understanding of the vision that taps you into the collective. And so as a Libra sun, this is the vibration of ascended balance, where you are the ascended artist. We see Venus in its dignity here. So attached to your legacy, this now connects true beauty. You have natural beauty, which is Taurus, Venus Taurus, and then you have classic beauty, which is Venus in Libra. And so connected with your sun, this connects your legacy to balance and push forward this social power of course, adding more polished balance and beauty to your community. I like to sort Kim Kardashian as well as, or source Kim Kardashian as well as Kylie Jenner as great examples of this, because they have Venus in this region and they're pretty much, as far as their career, they're pretty much known for producing beauty products. And that's all Venus, beauty, the goddess of beauty. So, I mean, for you, this doesn't have to be towards that, but most women who I see with this have had careers in hair. They've had careers in, makeup, beauty, surgery aligned with cosmetic and aesthetics. This could also be fashion industries, could be modeling, okay? But this could also be politics. This could also be art. This could be your ability to bring and connect artists together, especially with the MC so close to the 11th house, where building a community of artists and moving forward with your ability to balance as such is very key. Of course, once again, all of this has progressed since then, so it's nice to see how much this has evolved, but this definitely now aligns the theme of beauty, balance, and justice with your career, with your legacy, and tied more with what you're meant to do. Of course, if we look at what your destiny is, tied into what you're meant to do, we see that your North Node is in Cancer, which returned 2018, give or take around then. And put you more in a position than ever to very powerfully and amazingly connect with elements of yourself that very much so challenge how sincerely you're willing to share attributes of your value, especially with the right people. Okay? Because it's definitely going to put you in a position to really clear up elements of your own relationships with others by sorting through, in the most unconventional of ways, how you overcome differences and challenges in your relationships with others as a result. And I think a major facet of what may add to this nature of challenging here is not only this powerful element of your own superpowers you have, but of course the quality of how powerfully the squares you have in Aries and Libra further facilitate this all. Especially when we once again take into account the nature of how uniquely so much of your influence impacts others and what you're in a position to break through when we take into account that even though, and you know, with us having late risings, this shifts so much of the energy, of course, further down. So most of Capricorn is your first house, but of course you have Capricorn in your second house. So this incredible power of value that you possess expresses forth the knowledge of your attitude that Saturn anchors in your second, which is even very much more interesting because this makes it square to Neptune in Scorpio, which will stabilize this strength and knowledge to put in check the intuitive nature of the wisdom that Neptune will really glean here, which is cool because as a Libra sun, this is an aspect of how you manifest wealth with your own intuition, which now connected to the 12th is transcendent and by very nature supernatural. This will be a bit controversial because especially with the 60s axis where we see Pluto and Uranus here, which was around the hippie generation where things started to get very major and you started to see government agencies attack psychics and people who were in advance to going to awaken the community, stuff we'll probably never hear about in history books. There's a very weird, funky nature to this energy that most people will never understand because it's that supernatural. It's very psychic. And to see that the Virgo energy or perspective is 12th house to your Libra sun adds a legendary quality to your spirit that most others will most likely not understand because of the unconventional nature and dynamics that this engender. Case in point, especially with the presence of the moon in Sagittarius, the nature of your ability to analyze information is not only supernatural, albeit super subtle in ways most people will never notice, but directly aligned to the magic of the sentient nature of existence. And so Mercury here adds this extreme claircognizant unconventional quality to how your brain can analytically process analytically every single detail. So like the bus is moving at 50 miles per hour. And of course, as it stopped at the red light for 5 seconds before it moved forward again, you were able to look across the street at the blinds at the coffee shop and nonchalantly counted 67 blinds just like that. Meanwhile, Pete was desperately barely able to count 6 before the bus moved again. And you just glanced at it and your brain was instantly able to analyze exactly how many blinds unconsciously. It wasn't even like you were looking to see how many blinds. And so Pete was like, damn, I can only count 5. And then you're like, oh, there were at least like 67. And like, how did you know that though? Like there was still, and that's a very extreme example. But in light of the moon in Sagittarius, which now as this ascended understanding towards the efficiency with which you can process information at this level, it just goes so much more a long way how powerfully and magically this level of your perception gives you a hidden understanding of the real social dynamics of an instance never before. I can't even I can't emphasize enough the Pluto-Uranus conjunction here that adds so much extreme unconventionality to this nature of analysis that may border on the obsessive compulsive side in an OCD way. Is it a disorder? I think it's a superpower. Because everyone with this is very finicky about, how their image, how they're seen, details, microaggressions and nuances in social interactions. I don't have any Virgo or Pisces or Sag. I only have Gemini. So the reason why I appreciate this is me without this, I'm very oblivious. I'm so helplessly clueless. Like people will kind of put social cues and signs and I'm just in my Gemini head. I don't even notice them. I'll be like, well, I wonder why that person's doing that. And it's so obvious. And you have to have Virgo and Sag and Pisces for that. I learned that specifically Virgo. I appreciate that energy more because of, I'm not really a social being like you are. You're an ascended God level social being. I'm more a God level individual being. So we're both God level in that we have our moon and our rising in the God level signs. I go by moon, but you also have an ascended personality in Sagittarius. So this brings your soul and your personality at God level. But whereas my sun is in Gemini, the individual, your sun is in Libra, the social. So you are the collective social power that feels into the higher vision that connects everyone, but expresses in social environments to balance everything. And so this level and nature of balance will attract you towards the chaotic so that you can fulfill the nature of your power towards this balance. Kind of like a chaos angel that creates the challenge and problem and then swoops in like an angel of peace and balances it, even though people don't know you started in the first place. But what's very magical, once again, with the nature of your Virgo energy is legendary. I have to say it's very legendary. It gives your spirit an S-class nature because unconsciously, as your sun and heart, your spirit and heart are socially acutely aware of the principles and dynamics of the social environment that need to be balanced. Libra is going to let you know who's who. It's a very intelligent aptitude to apply smarts and information real time. That's just the power of Libra. It's the active cardinal function of one's mind. The Virgoan aspect is going to be the unconscious, subconscious, analytical processing of your brain while you're currently talking to certain people real time and you're having that conversation about the weather. But Mercury, Pluto is constantly analyzing the way that their hand twitches every time they say that they know Ving Rhames. And now you know that they're lying with the name drop. Just weird body language reading like that. You know what I'm saying? And then with the sextile to Scorpio is going to supplement this analysis with psychoanalysis. So the way you take action off of everything your brain analyzes in very uncannily psychic ways really seek to suggest that you know more about certain individuals than you do, when really it was an educated guess due to this supernatural sense of psychoanalysis. That because of minute details and the way certain people move their body and feel their nose, you know way more about people than you should know. This makes you a very terrifying psychic in ways that you don't even know you're being psychic in the moment. So when people are looking at you weird or treating you weird, it could be less about your personality rubbing them off the wrong way and more about you saying things in a certain way that allude to you knowing more about their life or their personality or things that they were just thinking in their head. And now they're kind of cringed out because you're that psychic. Meanwhile, you feel like you're just having this riveting conversation about the weather. And now they're just mind blown at how the anecdote you told about the weather spoke directly to the 2-hour depression nap they were taking about the loss of their grandmother. And you helped them heal the understanding of this in just a casual conversation. Once again, this is a very extreme example that I'm not going to assume happens to you every day, but probably does. But, it's just a really great way to kind of bring out the nature of this because, once again, back to this analytical magic, that Plutonian, Uranian critical analysis with Mercury and its dignity and exaltation, because everyone that has Mercury and Virgo analyzes very superiorly. I mean, Mercury in Gemini is going to be better for communication. Like there's certain nuances that Mercury and Virgo may not necessarily get that Mercury and Gemini will get, but it still helps, especially the Libra, analyze in a very real sense the practical reality of what's actually happening. But when you put Pluto and Uranus here, this adds OCD level qualities of, analysis here. But let me not say OCD. That's a bit disrespectful. It adds supernatural psychoanalytical quality to how extremely and claircognizantly in a position you can. So let's make more sense of this. Mercury here is going to be your ability to analyze blinds in a room. Pluto is going to be a very expensive scientific grade magnifying glass that takes your analysis of this and now extremely analyzes this at the subatomic level. And then Uranus is going to be the claircognizant genius that lets you know automatically which blind to look at. So, of course, Pluto and Mercury will be your ability to extremely analyze each and every single one of these blinds at a microscopic level just by perceiving it. But let's say there's 70,000 blinds. Uranus is the claircognizant ability to look at the 5 blinds instantly that were relevant. You could have looked at any other of the 60,000 other blinds, but you just unconsciously knew to look at just those 5 in that moment. That's supernatural. And there's nothing normal about that. So now with the moon in Sagittarius, your soul understanding will give you a higher spiritual perspective of the third dimensional analytical mechanics your brain is processing to give you a higher understanding and meaning outside of time and space, hence the God level of this, to show you the meaning of the facts you see. And the reason why this could be troubling is Virgo will always put Sagittarius in check and be finicky about the details because you're going to feel, oh, this is the meaning of what I saw. And Virgo will sometimes be like, but it didn't happen like that. This is not what's happening. And Sagittarius will put Virgo in check to be like, just because it didn't happen doesn't mean that it's not going to happen. And this is where the more you really stay true to your soul and you believe in what your soul shows you, the process of magic will override logic, even in revisionist cases, that will enable you to align more with this soul vision. Of course, it's not about changing things to be what you want them to be, but you must make sure you don't give in to the extreme temptation with the Virgo energy to give in to what you practically analyze in the moment, because it is all subject to change. The Virgo is just showing you what it is so that your Sag moon can show you how you can change it, what you can see to change it. And it's going to frustrate Virgo because Virgo wants practical insight that makes sense. Nothing has to make sense to Sagittarius. You just have to see it and believe it and boom. And so the Chiron Pisces element can challenge things further with this vulnerable sense of your beliefs and how it ties healing into the framework of how you visualize your beliefs and what kind of attitude and mindset that comes in with what you stay imagining. All right. The Virgo analysis is going to challenge with its critique what you imagine. Oh, it's not real enough. Oh, it's not practical enough, when it doesn't have to be. It's more so of just a framework for how you can color in the lines, but you don't have to color in the lines. That's what the moon in Sag, Chiron Pisces teaches you. And Chiron's connection with Neptune and Mars enables you to, of course, strengthen the magical nature of this healing aspect by the intuitive guidance of how you connect your pure driven actions with your intuition. Of course, the stabilization of this total knowledge of karma will definitely align more the intuitive wisdom with a knowledgeable basis that isn't too delusional or isn't delusional at all, because Saturn will put Neptune in check to make sure that what you're intuiting has some framework in actual knowledge. Because if you didn't, Neptune can pick up anything. It's not a linear vibration at all. It's just psychic energy. And so, you know, that can be discerned in any way. And Saturn will stabilize a lot more how that is done. Jupiter boosts the expansion of your soul into directing so much more powerfully what direction you take your understanding and insights into. And this really creates for a very dynamic approach, because as a Libra sun, this Jupiter aspect is completely opposite you. And so this is going to represent the understanding you expand in your relationships with others, seeking for you to be in a position to bring to a higher light the balance and polishing that you bring to the table with others in the holding space of the evolution of their raw talents. And it makes this exciting to be with you as you challenge others to be more authentic and original and give them the space to expand that accordingly. You also have this yod, which is very rare. To have a 17-degree yod with your moon, Saturn, and the North Node makes the destiny node the focal point. The finger of God is pointed here. So your moon is the perceptual angle of your soul understanding of this higher perspective of these social dynamics that is strengthened by the knowledge of your karma and the values that you are serious about, which anchor this perception towards everything you know based off of what you see. And that's going to influence the direction you keep moving forward in, okay? Because you're unlocking and using the value of the incredible nature of your personality in order to pour sincerity on other people. You're grounding this approach so that you can dive deeper into how much more emotionally you can connect with other people and what kind of boundaries you draw with other people and how much deeply emotionally you open others up and how much more you're able to move forward with other people. So it's like you're putting other people on, using your own value and everything incredible about yourself as a resource to hold space in order to whether elevate or just heal or add so much of this sincere power towards the development of course, how it is you connect and engage with other people. Okay. It definitely also goes a long way towards you being more in a position than ever to realistically also tap in to the nature of everything up until this point. You've been put in a position to develop like never before. And I feel like a lot of how this expresses itself brings itself back once again to your Libra sun. Being able to take this ascended understanding and put yourself more once again in that position to realistically tap into how magically and how powerfully you express all of this amazing joy towards your community and towards really balancing how everyone can bring their individuality and come together through events, through communal activity that brings together other such like minds and pushes forward greater balance and justice in your society. This is a very powerful energy too, because insecure individuals or forces that seek to undermine your value through projection of negativity, it'll never work on you, because you're able to isolate the intentions that facilitate such ulterior motives, bring that to light instantly, and then change the approach to how to deal with that, making you quite dangerous, but also very effective. Yeah. So yeah, a lot to keep in mind, especially when we really see the nature of how powerfully, of course, in 63, you have grown considerably, which once again goes a long way towards just the magic of your presence. Okay. And it also really puts you in a position to, like never before, also tap you into, so much of how you bring the insights you reflect as a true mirror, and of course truth blast accordingly towards other people. Of course, with this Jupiter return you're going to be coming into by March, April, this will definitely go a long way towards, realistically tapping you into this revisiting of how comfortable you are and at home with partnerships that you can do more with people in, and who you invite into your private home. This could also facilitate a move during this period. And by August, the South Node will be on your MC, and it'll begin the process throughout the rest of the year of unlocking all the career success and work you've put in, by balancing a lot more power in who it is you deal with and how it is you deal with them too. All right. I hope you enjoy this. I hope you enjoyed this report. And yeah, I look forward to your feedback. And until next time, peace.